Well, trivia. Can anyone name, I believe there is only one lawmaker who has held statewide office and is now in the legislature. Not only did that person hold statewide office, but they were also a commissioner for a governor, which is kind of a statewide office too, but that's an appointed office. But a statewide office holder who is now in the legislature and is retiring. We'll go back in memory lane. You know, we pull all that stuff out of the archives. We have lots of archives. Some people love it, some people hate it, but all the lawmakers have been forced to watch. This is their life, is kind of what we call it. Some of them have really liked it. Most of them have, but maybe a couple haven't loved it so much. But it's fun to look back with them and have them reflect. So far, there's been kind of a theme, too. Many of them have spoken about how partisan and extreme the legislature have been. We've heard that from Republicans and Democrats, that a lot of them kind of miss the good old days when folks used to work together. So it'll be interesting to hear if this lawmaker, who hasn't been in the legislature that long, but has been around politics a very long time, again, as a statewide office holder, as a former commissioner serving a governor, tune in to see who that is. I'm not going to tell you, so just keep guessing who that retiring lawmaker is. The other person we'll have on is former lawmakers. Both of them used to serve here in the House, and both of them have worked across the aisle, have gained bipartisan backings for bills. They've both crossed over the aisle and voted with the majority or the minority, depending how you think of it, in their chambers. So we'll have former Representative Pat Garofalo, former Representative, then Senator Carla Bingham. So the two of them are a lot of fun. We didn't get to talk about their favorite issue last time, though. They both really like the issue of sports gaming. We did not bring it up. We might bring it up, but that's not the first thing we'll talk about. We have ethics complaints here in the House. Actually, Representative Long, a leader of the DFL caucus, announced it was the first time he had ever filed an ethics complaint. He said it was the first time he'd even heard about one since he'd been in the legislature. So we'll talk about the ethics complaints that Democrats filed against some Republicans, and then we'll talk about an ethics complaint that Republicans filed against a Democrat. So it was not a hunky-dory, peaceful return to the Capitol after Easter break and Passover. It was a salty return with bipartisan ethics complaints. And again, not a lot passing and moving here in the tied House, where there's a lot of tied votes and things die on tied votes. So chippy start. So we'll be talking about that and exploring that along with retired lawmaker and former lawmakers. So all of that tonight on Almanac at the Capitol is returned to our live broadcasting, and it's 7 o'clock on the statewide Minnesota channel. It's where you watch House and Senate floor action, committee hearings, press conferences, and much more. And we're starting to maybe get to the phase of session where the committee work is starting to wind down a little bit, and maybe some of the action will start happening on the floor, House and Senate floors, because we've passed kind of that first round of deadlines. But there's still plenty of committee work, and there's still plenty of details being hashed out. And we'll see. I keep reminding people they don't have to do anything. This is not a budget year. Sometimes it's a bonding year. School safety bills were heard today, so that's something people want to do, especially Republicans talking school safety, Democrats talking gun control. So those are interesting issues. I'll be diving more into the issue of gun ownership because, as you've been probably following in the news, not only was there a DWI here in the House, but somebody was also found to be carrying a weapon while drinking, and so that became an issue. And Democrats and Republicans have been talking about responsible gun ownership because in Minnesota law, you are not allowed to be at a certain blood alcohol level while carrying and being a lawful permit holder. So I'll be diving into that more Friday on Almanac. But tonight, Almanac at the Capitol here in the House Gallery, and we thought it would be fun. Ben, who's behind the camera, was looking around and reading all of these sayings. There are several different languages depicted here in the House chamber. And if you come here, you know that there's French everywhere. We'll talk about those in a moment, but we'll talk about Latin. I was lucky enough to have a parent who knew some Latin. My dad, political reporter before me, but also he was headed to law school, and I think he was taught Latin as a child in like a one-room schoolhouse. He was also a teacher before becoming a reporter in a one-room schoolhouse. And the smartest person I've ever met. He knew a lot of Latin and taught us some Latin too. So I think I'm pretty decent at this because my dad taught me some Latin. The saying in the front of the chamber, the vox populorum est vox Dei. Its voice of the people is the voice of God. So it's interesting that there is a religious reference right here at the front of the House chamber. And I believe if I have my history correct, that bit right there was added That was not original. The original house was open. That was an open gallery. And that was changed and walled off, and then offices were added. And those offices actually do run around here and can come right into the house gallery where we do our show. We have had people come through that door because people's offices are right back there and behind that mural at the front of the house gallery. The other thing Ben noticed today while we were getting ready, he looked over there, and if you can, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like the word Duluth, but it is D-U space L-U-T-H. It is Duluth, but that is the original French spelling of the explorer Duluth, who is credited, I guess, with naming Duluth. I don't think he found it, or actually is, the French founders are fraught in history. It definitely was already found, but recognized by a lot of historians here in the state capital at the time. A lot of the French explorers are named here, and names that we now know, and things in our state are named after them. So Duluth, the D-U-L, it's all scrunched together now for the actual Duluth. But French explorer Duluth is right there. Another explorer, Belgian-born, and Catholic priest, I believe, Father Hennepin. We all know him as Father Hennepin. A lot of things named after Hennepin. And then LaSalle, another French one. And I don't know if I'm going to say it right, Perrot, P-E-R-R-O-T, one more French name. So there's a ton of French. There's a amount of Latin here in the state capital. Our French fur traders, explorers, were a big part of early Minnesota history, which are very much a part of the Minnesota state capital. So tune in to Substack here, Almanac at the Capitol, for more nerdy insight and watch the show. Thanks for hanging out with me.